come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. But it comes to me. Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me in time. Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. Happiness comes. That has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me in time. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom. That has come to me. It is here in the Father's kingdom. It was there for me. You took me in, and you washed away my sins. You washed away.
You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, theys and gays. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter here. I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. I've got a quick review for AEW Full Gear, which took place last night. I'm gonna get that card pulled up because I do want to go through my uh, my my predictions. But a really damn good show. AEW for me, AEW really doesn't miss on pay per view, even if you have your issues with the weekly product. They always seem to go ahead and just knock it out of the park when it comes to the pay per view, their pay per view offerings. So, like I said, I'm gonna make a kind of a short review because I do want to talk about the Continental Classic as well because those brackets were just announced. Um, so I want to go and talk about that as well. But starting off on 0 Hour, we started off with Deanna Perrazzo, who is representing the Vendetta, which is a new group that her and Taya Valkyrie went ahead and formed. She goes in, she takes on Anna Jay. Anna Jay just went ahead and lost this past week on Collision to AEW Women's Champion Mariah May. So she's no longer able to challenge for the championship as long as Mariah May is champion. How long is Mariah May going to be champion? We'll get to that here in a bit. But there were definitely a couple of moments of miscommunication you could tell between the two of them. I think this is the first time they've wrestled each other actually, but I think once they went ahead and got into hit a rhythm, I thought the match ended up being pretty solid. I'd give it a solid C plus. Anna Jay ended up winning in a pretty clever way. Deanna Perrazzo had her Fujiwara armbar locked in on Anna Jay, and she wrenched too far back, trying to go ahead and get twerk and leverage. And Anna was able to go ahead and hook her leg and go ahead and roll her up. A pretty nice little sequence, actually. But like I said, I'd probably go C plus as far as a grade for it. But yeah, a good start on 0 Hour. Moving forward, we had Fatal 4-Way. We had Dante Martin of Top Flight versus the Beast Mordos representing LFI, versus Commander versus representing the House of Black. Honoring the House of Black. Pardon me, Buddy Matthews. I'm not even going to try to recap this match. It was all over the place in the best way. A lot of mayhem, but in the end, Buddy Matthews was able to go ahead and get the win. So I picked Perrazzo, Anna Jay won. I picked Buddy Matthews here, and I got that one. So I'm 1 for 1. But damn good match. I think heading into Grand Slam in Australia, since we obviously know Buddy Matthews is from there, I could see him getting a TNT championship opportunity. I think that's going to be something worth keeping an eye on. But we'll see how he's pushed, because I could see because that's going to be February. So yeah, I mean, there's a world where he wins a championship or is in a marquee match at that Grand Slam. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then the last match was Costco guy AJ. Again, I talked about it during my predictions. I don't know about this guy. I don't really care, but he took on QT Marshall. I gotta say though, apparently this guy, like, he has trained or did train years ago to be a wrestler, and honestly, it wasn't bad. This was actually a pretty solid match, and I gotta give QT Marshall his credit, because I mean, he comes back to AEW as a booker, or as a coach, pardon me, really being behind the scenes, and he's really stepped into this role and has been able to go ahead and do some good stuff. So I mean, I credit to him. So yeah, it was a solid match. I'd probably give the Fatal 4-Way. I'd probably give it B plus 2. I'd probably give this a B minus. Like, it was fine for what it was, and the crowd, since they were in New Jersey, was really into it. So yeah, so I got to give him credit. But it was a pretty good 0 Hour. I always like seeing what they're going to go ahead and do as far as setting up stories, setting up storylines. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Good start. Good way to set up the show. So, all right, let me see here. Moving on to the actual main card, we started off with a fatal four-way for the AEW Tag Team Championships, which is Private Party, the champions, defending against the Outrunners versus the House of Black versus the Acclaimed. So I love Private Party. I like the Flex on Them song that they went ahead and had, but it looks like they have changed back. I don't know if it's a permanent change, but they did go ahead and change back to their Shots theme, which I always wanted them to come out to the Shots theme with those AEW Tag Championships. So I'm really happy they actually switched the theme back. But this was a really, really solid opener. The main story, or one of the main storylines, is the Outrunners being in this tag match instead of FTR. FTR talked about the fact that, if the Outrunners went ahead and won this match, that they would, that they'd want first crack at the tag titles. We haven't really seen a heel FTR in a minute, like since the Pinnacle days. So I mean, it's been 3 years really since they've been heels. So I personally think FTR is overdue for a heel turn. Yeah, but I'll get there in a second. But the big storyline with this was the continued erosion of the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed have been together, for 4 years, like almost since the beginnings of AEW, and they've become trios champions. They won the AEW Tag Team Championships. I mean, they've had a very successful run, but and I was talking to one of my friends about this, that I don't think just because you're a tag team, every tag team needs to break up. I think some tag teams should be lifers. I mean, you look at I don't know, like Midnight Express, like the Road Warriors, there are certain tag teams I just don't think should ever break up. And what WWE kind of teasing the whole like New Day breakup, it's like I would never want to break up the New Day. I think the New Day are fucking great. This feels like the end for the Acclaimed. The crowd was all over Max Caster. Holy shit. They were yelling "fuck you, Caster" at him whenever he was in the ring. They are showing Anthony Bowens a lot of love, as they have been really over the last couple months. I would say over the last 4 or 5 months, Anthony Bowens has really gotten over with the crowd, independent of the Acclaimed and independent of Max Caster. I think Bones deserves a chance to go ahead and show out and potentially do the solo thing, but it was a wild atmosphere just to hear the crowd going "fuck you, Caster." The Outrunners was such a fun 80s throwback, to the the golden age of wrestling. I love their gimmick so much with the the neon and all that. It fucking works for them. But at the in the end, Private Party were able to go ahead and win with the gin and juice. They pinned Max Caster again, further going ahead and twisting that blade as far as the Acclaimed and their breakup. But I dug this match a lot. I didn't get to watch this live because I was we had some internet issues, but yeah, a really solid opener. Solid B for me for this match. Moving on, we moved on to MJF, back after a couple months. He hasn't wrestled since All In. So it's been a couple months, but MJF back on pay-per-view, taking on the Undisputed Kingdom's Roderick Strong. So the interesting thing about this match is that Adam Cole, of course, revealed himself to be the devil last year at World's End. And then, of course, Adam Cole was hurt. And so the Undisputed Kingdom really lost a lot of momentum because Cole wasn't always there. But of course, MJF sucks as a person. So they're I think that they've navigated this about as well as you could, given some of the curveballs they've been thrown. But with that said, I think the crowd, myself included, this definitely feels like a placeholder because we know that this has to end with Adam Cole versus MJF. Like that's, that's how this started. It's how it needs to end. So you are kind of distracted from that. So there's no part of me I thought that Roddy was gonna win. So when he didn't win, I wasn't surprised. With that said, I was shocked MJF got the tap out. Not that Roderick Strong hasn't tapped out before, but it's not something you see often. So seeing Roderick Strong tap out in the salt of the earth armbar, that's a pretty big deal. So that's a good win for MJF. Also MJF has been utilizing that brain buster more. So yeah, I was really surprised actually to see MJF get the tap out win. One spot in this match that I loved is that MJF was on the second rope. He was on the middle rope, pardon me, and he's setting up to do the Panama Sunrise. And he goes like this whole Adam Cole thing goes like MJF baby, and while he's bloviating, Roderick Strong grabbed him by the hip, threw him off the second turnbuckle into a backbreaker. It was a fucking thing of beauty. But in the end, MJF was able to go ahead and get the win. So, yeah, I'm curious where we're going next with that. Adam Cole did come out and make the save because MJF went ahead and stomped on Roderick Strong's arm. So I think you write him off for a little bit. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious where we're heading with MJF and Adam Cole because again, it's clearly our destination, but it'll be interesting to see how we get there. Moving on, we got actually I think it was actually right here. I can't remember if it was what was next match? Oh yeah, they don't have it listed here. That's kind of weird. Next match was the TBS championship match. It was the CEO Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander. I love the fact that the commentary team brought up the fact that Chris Statlander lost the championship. She lost the TBS title last year. She lost it to Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Or she lost it to Julia Hart, but it was a triple threat match. Sky Blue was included as well. And I gotta say too, that's a damn good triple threat. I actually went back and watched that this morning. But Statlander having that legitimate beef that she didn't get pinned. She never got a 1-1 rematch. And so there's a story baked in there, independent of Mercedes Moné and hers rivalry. I gotta say, I know some people are just not fans of Mercedes Moné. I get that. It's the same thing with Charlotte Flair. Like, I totally get why you wouldn't be a fan of Mercedes. But just like with Charlotte Flair, while I'm not a fan of Charlotte Flair at all, and out of the 4 horsewomen, she's definitely the least, the one I like the least. There is something about Mercedes Moné. She carries herself like a star. Hey, what's up, Red? Thanks for joining. But there is something about Mercedes Moné. She carries herself like a star, and she comes, and she is elevating that TBS championship. Her and Willow Nightingale had that great match at Double or Nothing, in which that Mercedes obviously won to become the TBS champion. So she's been TBS champion since May. So I mean, she's had a good reign with it. I think there is, I think there's a world where Mercedes maybe even carries that belt into February. Like that could happen. But with that said, this was a hell of a match. The women got a lot of time. They got about 20 minutes. I think it was like 19 minutes, 10 seconds, something like that. But some of the highlights, Mercedes really was utilizing that Meteora, which makes a ton of sense because, Statlander's bigger, she's stronger. So Mercedes using a lot of her speed, utilizing those knees, really going after the head and neck, especially trying to set up that, that money statement, that crossface that she utilizes. So a lot of back and forth. There was one point where Statlander basically powered Mercedes up onto her shoulders and just basically flapjacked her, just dropped her down flat on her face. It was an amazing looking spot. And one thing that I really yeah, man, yeah, proud ally, man. If everyone is welcome here as long as you're not shitty. But Mercedes ended up getting the pin. Got her off this roll up. But what I will say about the match is Mercedes is one of my favorite sellers as far as a female, not even just female wrestler, just a wrestler. Statlander hit this discus clothesline, and Mercedes basically crumbled into a ball and like actually crumbled on top of Statlander. She hit her so hard with the impact. It was a great looking spot, but Mercedes was able to kick out, and Statlander was made to look super strong here. Mercedes hit two backstabbers on her and then hit the moneymaker, which to my knowledge, think uh I don't think anyone's kicked out of the moneymaker. Now I'm sitting here thinking about it. Um, but Statlander was able to. I'm doing well. I actually streamed a few days ago. Yesterday, I think actually, because I did my full gear predictions. So yeah, like yeah, I'm not I'm getting back into streaming. I will say, but yeah, it was a damn good match. Statlander, I hope this is kayfabe. I hope she's not actually hurt, but she was limping at the end of the match, and she had like the AEW medical team go ahead and help her off. I didn't see anything on like AEW's website or anything about Statlander's injury or anything, so I'm really really hoping that she is not hurt, because that would be fucking terrible. But an awesome fucking match between these two women. And this really highlights the fact that, look, I love AEW. You will find very few people who are as big of fans of AEW as your boy. But one of my biggest consistent complaints has been the booking of the women's division. You know, sometimes it feels like, oh yeah, we're getting to the point where, you know, these women are gonna get 15-minute matches, you know, every collision, as they should be. And then, you know, you might just get a segment or backstage thing. So I want to see these women get the chance to show out more. I talked about a couple weeks ago how Penelope Ford and Jamie Hayter having their big one-on-one grudge match. It only ended up being like a 4-minute long match. That's fucking inexcusable. Like, give those women 10-12 minutes. That's an important match given how personal you're trying to make it come across, and you give them barely any time. I thought that was bullshit. So, but this is what the AEW women's division can be. And honestly, this is probably Mercedes' best match in AEW since she joined. She had a great match with Hikaru Shida on Dynamite. She had a great match with Queen Aminata on Dynamite, which I saw live. Yay me. And I love the match she had with Willow at Double or Nothing. The match she had against Stephanie Van Keur at Forbidden Door. Like, Mercedes has had great matches, but I think this is her best one. So, excellent fucking match. Solid A. I'd give it a solid A for me. Really dug the match quite a bit. So yeah. Moving on, we had Jay White versus Hangman Page. A match that I'm surprised we were running it back so quickly, but they're two of the best wrestlers in the world, so you know, fuck it, why not? I went into this very conflicted because I hate 50-50 booking, even though I understand why, you know, why it fucking exists. But I thought that with Jay White just beating Hangman last month at Wrestle Dream, I thought, oh, we're gonna give Hangman his win back already. So I had Hangman picked. I was like, oh, Hangman's gonna win, and you know, we'll get the big blow off match maybe at Winter's Coming, or maybe at World's End next month. And no, Jay White fucking won. 2 straight wins against Hangman Page on pay-per-view. That's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, Hangman doesn't lose often, and that's a former AEW champion that you're pinning. I actually really like how this match broke down in terms of Hangman going after Jay White's ankle so that he couldn't stabilize himself really to do a lot of his, more technical moves like the Uranagi, the half and half suplex, things like that, versus uh, Jay White going after Hangman's knee so that he wasn't able to flip to go ahead and utilize the buckshot. I thought it was actually very interesting juxtaposition, a very interesting chess match. So even though the guys are kind of working like similar areas of the body, it still actually worked really well for me. So AEW Full Gear is an all elite wrestling pay-per-view. One of their big shows. So yeah, highly recommend checking out AEW. They're going to be actually available to stream. You're going to be able to stream their weekly shows and stuff on HBO Max starting January 1st. Actually, you're going to be able to stream all their stuff. So if you don't have HBO Max or you do have HBO Max, I would highly recommend checking out AEW. They're great stuff, and I think they are truly where the best wrestle. But oh my gosh, damn it, I lost my train of thought. Jay White. But in the end, Jay White was able to go ahead there. So one thing I really love about Hangman Page is because the buckshot is such a extravagant move, because you have the front flip into the clothesline. You do have several ways to kind of make either the buckshot look really cool, or ways to go ahead and counter the buckshot. And so Jay White was able to go ahead and hit this really slick, I don't even want to give away the finish, but he goes ahead and hits this incredible counter from the Blade Runner, or from the buckshot into the Blade Runner, and goes ahead and gets the win. Jay White does get attacked by Hangman after the match, and Hangman does end up forearming Christopher Daniels, so Hangman gets a little heat back on him, going after an authority figure. But at the end of the day, this is 5 wins. Count them, 5 wins for Hangman Page over Jay White, and that's going back to their days in New Japan. But no, I haven't watched Arcane yet. My partner really digs that show a lot. It's on the list. I don't know when I'll get to it, since I'm getting all the Oscar screeners right now, but at some point maybe I'll get around to reviewing it. But I don't know what that I haven't gotten to it yet. I will get to it though at some point. But yeah, in the end, Jay White goes and gets the win. Moving on. So I think it goes after this point. I'm blanking on the card order. I'm just going off the top of my head. But we end up getting the Champagne's championship celebration. So Mina Shirakawa, of course, of Stardom, gorgeous, fine-ass, talented, charismatic Mina Shirakawa comes out and introduces us to the Glamour, our current AEW Women's Champion, Mariah May, who I think has actually had, I know some people are like, oh my God, like her reign's been booked for. No, it hasn't. Like she banished Tony Storm. Tony Storm hasn't been on AEW TV since August. She had a nice little mini feud there with Anna Jay. She had a really great match with Willow at Wrestle Dream. So no, I'm digging Mariah May's reign, and given what they did here, they definitely went ahead and added some fuel to the fire, because in something that I think a lot of fans saw. So one thing about being a pro wrestling fan is that it's very frustrating when you see your baby faces who are just dumb. You know what I mean? Like Bailey, like they really booked Bailey like that, where she was she was such a baby face she wouldn't use a weapon, even though it was a no disqualification match, and she was like afraid of kendo sticks. Remember that dumb shit? I was really kind of worried they're going to do that with Mina, because of her relationship with Mariah May back in Stardom. It's like, okay, maybe she's going to be so blinded to the fact that that's her friend, that she's going to totally not be aware of what she did to Tony Storm. And no, because if you've been paying attention, when Tony Storm went over to Stardom last month, her and Mina teamed together. So it would easily go ahead and uh, and imply that, oh, okay, like clearly they probably talked about Mina or about Mariah and about how vindictive she can be. And so Mariah was ready, or Mina was ready. Mina is dancing, which was great. Mina was dancing and drinking some champagne, and Mariah goes ahead and she has this bottle. Um, uh, she goes ahead and grabs this champagne bottle, goes to smack. Yes, thank you, Red. Yes, go ahead and subscribe to your boy. Go ahead and subscribe on YouTube if you're watching there at The Real Pineapple. Go and follow the show on Twitch at twitch.tv/Real Pineapple if you're on Twitch. But Mariah goes ahead, tries to hit Mina with the champagne bottle. Mina ducks it, kicks the bottle out of her hand, which was really fucking cool. Like that was a very well-placed kick. Kicks the bottle out of her hand and then goes ahead and spears her, tackles her off the stage. And so it sucks that this happened, but it actually made it look more badass. So when Mina tackled Mariah, what it looked like they were supposed to do is that they were supposed to hit this table and just crash, crash, go straight through, crash and go straight through the table. But they don't. They actually hit this table next to the table they're supposed to go through and then slid off of it and then went through the table. So it looked brutal, but it was actually a really cool spot. So I was really happy to see that. So I'm stoked that we're going to be getting Mariah May versus Mina Shirakawa. I'm sure we'll get some a video package, explain their history of Club Venus and everything. But I'm really excited to see how we're going to go ahead and kind of continue to build the storyline out. I think that's your World's End match. I wonder if you could extend it past that. Maybe you can get it to January, maybe you can extend it past then, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do wait a little bit for this, because I could see Mariah running and not wanting to face Mina. So it's gonna be interesting to see how we get there. But this was a really good start, and plus it lets us know, that that's on the horizon. Pardon me. Okay, moving on. We had the aerial assassin Will Ospreay taking on the proto-star Kyle Fletcher of the Don Callis family. So Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay had an excellent television match on Dynamite. I want to say about 3 months ago. Will Ospreay might go down as the best signing that AEW ever has. Will Ospreay's been incredible, just turning out fucking banger after banger after banger. Will Ospreay's been nuts. His work rate is second to none. And I do believe from an in-ring perspective right now, he's the best wrestler in the industry. I think he is absolutely incredible. With that said, Kyle Fletcher has really started to ramp up his production and his match quality. He had an incredible match on a Supercard of Honor a couple months ago, because I think some people forget he was the Ring of Honor television champion for a couple months. But him and Lee Moriarty had a great match at Supercard. And so now with him joining Don Callis family, him turning his back on Will Ospreay, this was a big grudge match. And I love how Black Hat, White Hat this was. Will Ospreay ditching the green, and that's such an important color to him in general, but him ditching the green and going to an all black. The Punisher version of the Billy Goat logo goes so fucking hard. I hope that's the logo he's using moving forward, even if he inverts the colors and he has white, the white attire, but the Billy Goat is black. He needs to keep running with this version of the logo. It looks fucking fantastic. And hey, congrats on finishing your comic. What's the comic about? But I love the new logo switch up for Will Ospreay. So I hope he uses that moving forward because it's cool shit. But kind of similar to WrestleMania 25 with The Undertaker coming out in all black, Shawn Michaels come out in all white, Will Ospreay comes out in all black, Kyle Fletcher comes out in all white. Even comes out wearing a crown that Don Callis gave him, saying that you are the new you're the new king of wrestling. I really like that presentation. It's very cocky, very that one fucker on King on Game of Thrones that I'm totally blanking on, that one king. That kid, yeah, him. But I was excited for this match, and what I'll say is my expectations are just high in general because Will Ospreay is the shit, and the man just continues to exceed every expectation I have. Okay, let's see. So Red's comic book. Go follow Red. But their comic is called Monster Hunter. And it's about capturing monsters like animal control in a fictional country. Okay, I'd be down to read. So is it kind of like uh sounds a little like Fantastic Beasts, kind of like Hellboyish is kind of the vibe I'm getting from based on your description. But Osprey went ahead. Oh, it's on Webtoons, y'all. So go ahead and check that out. But they beat the shit out of each other. Will Osprey told the story I think it was this past week's Dynamite. It was that or either the Dynamite before, where he talked about sitting with his son and how his son was sitting on his left side when they were watching TV and he couldn't feel his arm. I mean, I'm hoping that's storyline. I'm assuming it's storyline because Will Ospreay, much like Bryan Danielson, loves to go ahead and fuck with the audience. Hellboyish and Ghostbusters. Okay, down. Yeah, if you put a link to that, put a link to that, I'll make sure I include it in the description of the video here. But this match had so many brutal moments. Fletcher hit this tombstone from the apron onto the ring steps that was so brutal. It's one of the best spots I've seen all year. It's just oh my god. Like, I love AEW, but people, please be careful. Like, please don't kill each other. But that spot in particular was insanely brutal. There was this great spot where they were chopping each other. And so, like, Ospreay hits a chop, Fletcher responds. Ospreay hits another chop, Fletcher responds. And then Ospreay starts getting cocky. He's like, all right, motherfucker. And so he pins his arms behind his back. He's like, chop me again. And Fletcher goes to chop him. Instead, super kicks him right in the mouth. And it was such an awesome spot because, yeah, that's exactly, I did the same fucking thing. I'm sorry, there's no honor amongst thieves. I'd kick you in the face too. I love that spot. And that was something that made me really fucking happy. Yeah, love that spot. So, but in the end, Ospreay went for the hidden blade, didn't have anything behind it. Fletcher grabs the arm, does an arm breaker. Ospreay tries to swing with that left arm, the one that he was talking about that he couldn't feel because his son was sitting, on that left side. Goes for a hidden blade with that arm. Fletcher just grabs him, ends up headbutting him, does an arm breaker there, and goes ahead and he pins Will Ospreay off of a top rope brainbuster, which, by the way, Ospreay sold that like fucking death. This was a coronation for Kyle Fletcher. This feels like a huge win. Even though he was Ring of Honor TV champion, this is the biggest win of his professional career. And considering Kyle Fletcher, I believe he's 25. I think he's young. So, pardon me. Yeah, he's gonna be 26 a month from today. Go figure. But that's nuts. Like, he's so good already, and he's gonna get so much better, and he will benefit greatly from this win. I'm so happy for Kyle Fletcher, and the Don Callis family, it really does feel like they have momentum now, between Konosuke Takeshita, between Kyle Fletcher, between Brian Cage and Lance Archer. Brian Cage, of course, the Ring of Honor Television Champion. Yeah, it really feels like the Don Callis family has momentum in a way that they haven't in a minute, which is great for them. So props to Kyle Fletcher. This is the match of the night. I know I say that about Osprey a lot because Osprey's kind of talented, but I would highly recommend checking this match out. If there is a match you have to watch, it is definitely this fucking match. But A plus, A plus, A plus. I know I haven't graded every match like after my rant, so I will go back through and rate all of these. Moving on, we had Konosuke Takeshita of the Don Callis family, the AEW International Champion, defending his title against Ricochet. This match, honestly, is right there with the Osprey Fletcher match for me. I think the only reason this isn't higher for me is because it's not quite as personal. This is Ricochet wanting to go ahead and get that international championship after Will Ospreay took the pin at Wrestle Dream. So, very, very, very simple story in that sense that, I want to go ahead and be the champion. Nothing wrong with that. But I dug this. I dug this match a lot. At the end of the day, some really great flip sequences. Takeshita hits this one German suplex that I swear I thought he ended Ricochet. This one German he hits him with, you'll know when you see it. I just went, holy shit, that's it. I was like, cool, he's done. Like, let's just get him off the map, scrape him off. But Takeshita, thankfully, went ahead and retained, end up hitting this high knee at a point. I love Takeshita when he hits a knee strike. Whenever he hits a knee lift, it just looks like he could kill someone. Like he might be my favorite striker in the industry. I fucking love Takeshita. But yeah, at the end, Takeshita is able to go ahead and retain. Yeah, I'll save that rating for when I come back. All right, we had a couple more matches. Swerve Strickland took on Bobby Lashley of the Hurt Syndicate. So Swerve Strickland, he signed with AEW 3 years ago yesterday, actually. So not exactly today, but he premiered at Full Gear 2021. And I remember when he came out and signed his contract, and myself and a lot of other people were like, okay, that's a big signing. Like, that's really good. What's he gonna do? And what Swerve has done is become one of the best champions in the industry. He's become one of the best stars in the industry. I love his swagger. I love the confidence he has. I love the way he carries himself. Even though his championship reign wasn't as long as as MJF's. Pardon me. Even though it wasn't that long, he had great matches against Kill Switch. Pardon me, aka Luchasaurus. Feel better, sir. He had a match of the year candidate against Claudio Castagnoli on AEW Collision. That might be Claudio's best match he's had in AEW. An incredible fucking match. He had that great match against Samoa Joe. He had the great match against Will Ospreay. He had the great match against. He had a great title defense against Roderick Strong. He had a great match against Christian Cage. Had a great match against Bryan Danielson, one of the best matches of Danielson's career or Swerve's career. Swerve has been on another level. I've loved what he's done. And Bobby Lashley, let's put some respect on Lashley's name. The former MMA star. He'll knock your ass out. Former WWE champion, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, the man has won championships everywhere he's gone. And so I was very curious how this match was going to go ahead and shake out. It kind of shook out similarly to how I expected. Very much like a very intense grudge match where Lashley was able to use his power. he speared, like, so I love this spot in general, but he goes ahead and he speared Swerve through the barricade, which looked pardon me, which looked fucking brutal. Just dropped his ass. Um and then Swerve also got caught with a belly to belly suplex on the outside, which anytime someone gets suplex on the outside of the ring, that shit always looks so fucking painful to me. So, yeah. But at the end of the day, Lashley, I think Swerve got probably about 5-6 minutes of offense in, and really after that, it was dominance. It was straight up dominance from the Almighty. And Lashley is able to go ahead, hit that belly to belly on the suplex on the floor, spears Swerve through the barricade, rolls him in the ring, hits another spear, and puts on the hurt lock. Swerve didn't tap out, but he passed out. So, winner by submission, the almighty Bobby Lashley. A huge win for Lashley, a huge win for the Hurt Syndicate. And then they go ahead and they beat Swerve down after the match and go ahead and they put Prince Nana in the Hurt Lock and leave him and Swerve laying next to each other. I'm really curious who Swerve is going to get to go ahead and get help, because clearly that's, like at some point that's going to happen. But an incredible statement win for Bobby Lashley. I'm curious with Shelton Benjamin. I'll save that. I'll save that. But another great match, another great banger that I really enjoyed. Definitely a little more different, more of a street fight type feel. But I really enjoyed the match. So, all right, 2 more matches. We had Jack Perry versus Daniel Garcia. The Scapegoat, I think, has actually been a pretty damn good TNT champion. But considering this is your television championship, not everyone needs to have like a 200-day reign with the belt. Actually, I prefer that people like didn't do that. But I enjoyed this match. Didn't love this match, but I enjoyed it because at the end of the day, I got what I wanted. Jack Perry's been kind of playing mind games with Daniel Garcia, telling him he's not ready to take that step. He's not ready to be champion. And so there's this point where he basically throws the belt to him and does like the Jesus pose. It's like, hit me with the title. I mean, granted, you'll get DQ'd, but hit me with it. So Garcia goes ahead, tosses the belt to the ref. As the ref turns around to get rid of the belt, Jack Perry low blows him, hits him with the running knee strike, goes to pin. Garcia is able to kick out, which actually caught me off guard because that's a very like that pin. That sequence will get you pins more often than not. But at the end of the day, Garcia was able to go ahead and get the Dragon Slayer locked in, his version of a sharpshooter. They had me too on this because he leans back so that his head is getting closer to Jack Perry's head, to go ahead and put that extra twerk on there. And I really thought that Jack Perry was going to reach back, kind of like Brock Lesnar did with AJ Styles at Survivor Series. I thought he was going to reach back, grab his head, and kind of do that, that thing where he just slams his head into the mat. And no, he didn't. Jack Perry tapped out, which I was shocked at that. I was like, wow, okay. But Daniel Garcia, I think they've had a couple start stops with him where I still stand by the fact I think that he should have joined the Blackpool Combat Club. I think that should have been something that happened, 2 years ago. There have been some mishandlings of him that I have not been crazy about, but at the end of the day, we got to what I wanted. We got him as the TNT champion now. So Daniel Garcia is our new TNT champion. Very happy for him. Damn good match. I wish it would have had maybe another 5 minutes because I think they could have really turned this into like a banger, but a good match. And then we get to our main event. Jon Moxley, leader of the Death Riders, our AEW World Champion, taking on freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. So they've taken each other on a few times, and I was actually very curious to see what their chemistry would be like this time. The last time they took on each other at Full Gear, Cassidy was able to go ahead and actually no, Moxley won. Moxley beat Cassidy. What am I talking about? But this is different. This being for the world title, this being Cassidy's. As I'm sitting here, I think it is his first one-on-one match for the AEW Championship. He had the triple threat at Double or Nothing. I think it was like 2020. I think that would have been 2021, where he took on Pac and Kenny Omega for the championship. But to my knowledge, this is his first time one-on-one going for the championship. We have to talk about Orange Cassidy. He's got big wins over, Wheeler Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, Chris Jericho. I mean, the man has won big time matches. He almost beat Will Ospreay, which I think people forget, and that's a match we need to absolutely run back. But I've really been liking this Death Rider storyline, seeing John Moxley be more way more of a heel, not even like not no longer doing this like tweener shit, but the fact that he's been really leaning into it. It's been fascinating to watch. Like I've really been enjoying it. But the thing is, this storyline is way too early. It's way too early in its genesis. So there's just no part of me that thought that Orange Cassidy was going to win until one sequence. One thing I've really liked about AEW is that since Moxley beat and retired, fuck you, Moxley, the American Dragon at Wrestle Dream, Bryan Danielson, and won the AEW Championship, we haven't seen the AEW Championship. It's been in that briefcase that has been carried around by the problem Marina Shafir, who, by the way, I love her being the heavy for the Death Riders. Like she gives off China vibes clearly, but she looks great next to Mox. Like they just have this aura about them. I love what she's bringing to the Death Riders, and I'm so happy that Shafir is getting this chance and is being able to run with it. But there is one sequence where Cassidy hit Moxley right in the head with the case, and I genuinely thought it was over. Like they actually got me. I gotta give him credit. And then the other thing I love, Cassidy not being a bitch to start this match off. One thing I was talking about it earlier in this same review, how there's nothing more that's irritating than a dumb baby face. The moment that Moxley turned his back, Cassidy jumped him. And the thing is, he should have jumped him. These fucking Death Riders have been jumping Cassidy for the last couple weeks. I would turnabout's fair play. I would have done the exact same thing. So he immediately runs out, tackles Moxley, gets on the announcer's tables, punching the shit out of him. I was like, let's fucking go. Like it showed this different, not quite desperate, but also this new like vindictive, aggressive side of Orange Cassidy that I've really liked that we've got more glimpses of, because his whole thing was I don't care and I don't need a catchphrase and da da da. But I appreciate this. I appreciate the fact that he actually went, fuck it, I'm gonna go balls to the wall. So I really liked that. That was something that caught me very much off guard in the best way. But at the end of the day, and it took a lot, and I gotta give Cassidy credit, but there's one point in the match, and they've done this spot before, but I don't think I've ever seen it look so brutal, where Moxley has someone on the turnbuckle with him, and he takes his nails and drags them down the back of someone's back. He actually cut Cassidy open using his nails and just dragging him. I was like, holy shit. Like I was like, that's some shit. Like that spot in particular caught me really off guard, but I love that sequence. But at the end of the day, Moxley was able to go ahead and hit the Death Rider and go ahead and retain his championship with some help from Wheeler Yuta in a pretty cool sequence. He hit the Bryan Danielson Busaiku knee, hit it from nowhere while the ref's back was turned. Moxley picks up Cassidy, Death Rider. Cassidy at this point had lost so much blood and was able to go ahead and get the win and retain. But I love this match. The crowd was completely into it. The crowd really did amp this match up. This match felt important. It had a big fight feel to it. Yeah, I dug this match a lot, and the ending of this match was crazy with Christian Cage almost cashing in, Jay White and Hangman getting back getting back involved in fighting, Darby Allin running running their car down. The end to this pay-per-view, it felt like a nice capper for Cassidy, who I do think, while he didn't win, I think his fight with the Blackpool Combat Club is clearly not over. But I'm really excited to see where we go. Christian Cage is that kind of background character because it's like, okay, he has that contract. It's just a matter of when he wants to go ahead and cash that in. And the fact that Hangman Page didn't jump him, it does make me think that, okay, Christian is promising uh Hangman the first shot at the AEW championship, because at the end of the day, that's all Hangman Page cares about, as long as he's the AEW champion again at some point. So they did a really good job of weaving multiple storylines together before we went ahead and went off the air. So it's a very intriguing build going into this Wednesday's Dynamite with the Continental Classic popping off for this year, it premiering there. So yeah, I really like this pay-per-view. Going down the list real quick, for 0 Hour, I said that Peraza was going to win. Anna Jay ended up winning. And I gave that a C plus. The fatal 4-way between Dante Martin, the Beast Mordos, Commander, and Buddy Matthews, that was a solid B for me. And I picked Buddy Matthews, so I was right there. I picked Costco Guy to beat QT Marshall, but that was a better match than I thought it was going to be, B minus. So I was 2-1. And then fatal 4-way for the tag titles, Private Party versus the Outrunners versus House of Black versus Acclaimed. I give that solid B minus. I picked that one right, so that was 3-1. MJF Roderick Strong was a good match. Could have used some more heat, but it was still, like, from technical perspectives, it was really good. So 4-1. Pick Strong there, but I give it like a B minus because I like the in-ring stuff. Bobby Lashley versus Swerve Strickland, I thought was a hard hitting, great match. There's a Swerve stomp that Swerve hit on the outside that was fucking great. I picked Lashley to win, and he went ahead and won. I'd give that match a B plus. Jay White versus Hangman Page. I didn't like this as much as a Wrestle Dream match, which I would have given a solid A, like a solid A to, but I still really dug this. So I'd say B plus for this one. And I did pick. I actually picked Hangman there. So what am I? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 6 and 2. I picked Kyle Fletcher to win just because I just had a feeling. And this is match of the night. So A plus 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 plus. So 7 and 2. And then I'd give Takeshita Ricochet an A. Really dug that one, and I picked Takeshita to win. I picked Daniel Garcia. I was hesitant, but I did pick Daniel Garcia. And like I said, that match was good. I think they could have used another 5 minutes, but still a solid B minus. And then Mercedes Moné Statlander. I picked Mercedes to retain, but man, I wanted to be wrong. Like, this was the match. I was like, come on, let me be wrong. It's fine. But I went ahead and picked Mercedes there. And then Moxley was the one that I was like, okay, yeah, he's not losing. So, so let me see. So I was, so I think I only missed like a couple. Yeah, I did pretty well on my predictions. So I missed Perazo. No, I was right there. I did miss on Jay White Hangman. So yeah, I think I got like every match almost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So yeah, I was 11-2. So yeah, go me on my predictions. Yeah, good stuff. But before I get out of here, real quick, just gonna reveal this and give my quick thoughts because since it kicks off this week, I'll get into it more. But AEW went ahead and revealed their brackets for the Continental Classic. So the winner of this will be crowned December 22nd, I believe is the date. They'll be crowned Continental champion will be crowned December 22nd at World's End. That's their next pay-per-view in Florida. So Red Robin style, everyone in their league takes on each other one-on-one, and then the winner of those leagues go ahead and face each other. And then winner becomes the continental champion. So in this, a winner, if you win the match, you get 3 points. Loser gets 0, and it's a 1 point for a draw. So for the Gold League, we have Darby Allin, which let's go. Fucking hype Darby's in it this year. So we got Darby Allin, we have Claudio Castagnoli, we have my boyfriend Will Ospreay, we have Ricochet, we have Brody King, and we have the Juice. We got Juice Robinson in the Gold League. For the Blue League, we have the man defending his Continental crown. We have the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, defending it. We have Kyle Fletcher. We have Daniel Garcia, our new TNT champion. We have Mark Briscoe. We have Shelton Benjamin, and we have the Beast Mordos. Real quick thoughts on this. I like the Blue League. I would say I like the Blue League more, but I do look at the Gold League, and the Gold League is great too. So it's, in case you were like me and you're wondering, wait a minute, wasn't Speedball Mike Bailey supposed to debut with AEW in the Continental Classic? Wasn't that the rumor? The rumor is apparently because he was, I guess, injured part of last year, that TNA might be putting some extra time on, like an extra month or two on his contract. So it sounds like he's not going to debut with AEW until January. So that sucks that we have to wait a little bit for Speedball, because it would have been nice to have him. I probably would have put him in the Gold League, but regardless, I'm happy for Juice Robinson because I'm just a fan of his, and considering the showing Jay White had last year, Juice Robinson deserves some shine. He deserves a chance to go ahead and show out a little bit. I don't know what's going on with the Guns, Colton and Austin Gunn, the rest of Bullet Club Gold. I hope they're well. I hope they're back soon, because I love the 4-man tandem of Bullet Club Gold, the Bang Bang Gang. But looking at the brackets, though, I really like these. The fact that we're gonna get Shelton Benjamin and the Beast Mordos at some point is gonna be amazing. The fact we're gonna get the Beast Mordos and fucking Kyle Fletcher. The fact we get Shelton Benjamin versus fucking Okada. Are you kidding me? Let's fucking go. Like, that's, I'm so ready. I'm so ready for that match. And then Will Ospreay, Claudio Castagnoli is gonna be absurd. Will Ospreay, Darby Allin, that's gonna be absurd. Brody King, Ricochet. Oh my god. Like, there's so much to be excited about, but I will save more of my thoughts for Dynamite, because since that's going to be the business this week. But everyone, thank you so much for joining me for my full gear review. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here because I'm going to go get some food. But I'll be streaming at some point this week. I'll keep y'all updated on that. It is Thanksgiving week, so I'm gonna try to give myself, an actual break. But I will stream before the holidays. I will make sure you subscribe to me on socials and you follow me on socials, so you know where when I will be streaming. That'll be on the next slide here in a second. Don't worry. Like, all my socials will pop up. But everyone, thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you're having a great Sunday. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. We're almost at Thanksgiving, people. We're almost there. So for those of you working, got a short week. So just hang in there. We're almost there. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Give someone a hug. Give someone a compliment. And never forget, as always, to keep it real. Thank you so much, y'all. And I will talk to you soon. Cheers.